So, for the United States followers on my podcast channel, I'm going to give you a little bit of trivia today, which was tipped off to me by an old media pal a couple of weeks ago. What is the significance of Waterbury, Connecticut's Maurice Roberts? Okay, if this is the first time you're hearing of this player, no problem. But if it rings a bell, this is where it comes in. He's the oldest man ever to play the position of goalie in NHL, and in two different stretches of several decades was both the youngest man to play goal in the NHL and the oldest player to play in an NHL game. Now, Maurice Mo Roberts was born, like I said, in Waterbury, Connecticut, December 13th, 1905. Now, his minor hockey success on numerous levels led him to the NHL in the early 1930s. He had skated with the New Haven Eagles of the CAHL and the Philadelphia Arrows over 5 seasons before finally breaking in with the New York Americans of the NHL in one game in 1932. Now he also played with New Haven in 32 and 33, and he played 6 more games with the Americans, going 1-4. Now, from then he was in different IHL, IAHL, AHL, EHL, OHSHL teams for a number of years from 1935 to pretty well 1948. Now, again, the 16 seasons in minor leagues was broken by 4 seasons after he enlisted in the U.S. Navy during World War II. After coming back, he played one more regular season of professional hockey. Now, Roberts made his official NHL debut with the Boston Bruins on December 8, 1925, substituting for injured regular Doc Stewart in a 3-2 win against the Montreal Maroons. At age 19, he was the youngest goalie in NHL history until surpassed by Harry Lumley nearly 20 years later. Well, this is kind of weird, ladies and gentlemen. Some hockey databases do not mention that game from December 8, 1925, while others recognize it as part of NHL history. So it depends who you're talking to. For the sake of the NHL official register, he did play in that game. Now, after numerous seasons, like I said, playing in the minor leagues, he ended up being an assistant trainer with the Chicago Blackhawks. On November 25th, 1951, he had to finish the third period for the Blackhawks for the injured Lumley. At that point, the Blackhawks starter. Although Roberts didn't yield a goal, his Hawks still fell to Detroit Red Wings 5-2. The then 45-year-old Roberts, in his last NHL game, became the oldest player to play the NHL game, a record he held until broken by Gordie Howe in '79, and also passed by Chris Chelios. Again, he remains the oldest goalie to play an NHL game. He was also the final NHL player who was active in the 1920s, and possibly the last player to play with the New York Americans, and eventually still skate in the NHL some 20 years later. Now, in the minor leagues with the Cleveland Barons came his great success. In consecutive years with the Falcons and Barons, he played 45, 54, 56, and 48 games, and played a very, very strong stand-up style that made great use of his 5'9", 165-pound frame. Now, he was officially inducted in the United States Hockey Hall of Fame in 2005, basically because of his great dedication to minor hockey and his NHL legacy as probably one of the most interesting American players of his era. Now, he unfortunately passed away on February 5th, 1975 at the age of 69, but leaves a legacy where when you bring up the history books, now being the oldest player in the NHL was held again until Gordie Howe broke it and then Chelios, but with Mo Roberts, I know this for a fact, in his home region of Waterbury, there's various online tributes and recognition that has been done over the years. But what a conversation piece, ladies and gentlemen. You play with a folded NHL franchise in the Americans. You serve overseas and you come back and he still wants you to play, especially for the Washington Lions of the EHL. It's a very, very interesting life in hockey. Now, he also actually coached for one season for the Muncie Chiefs of the OHSHL, where I think he was the starting number one goalie. I'll have to check that maybe for a future podcast. Some of the oldest starting goalies in minor pro history. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. If you like what we're doing here, especially our American subscribers, please give us a like or a comment. And for new people listening, please subscribe. We're going to try to get it up to 500 subscribers by 2021. We've been picking up here and there. There is no monetization with this channel. This is a tribute to my many readers over here from my years over because of my Canadian columns that appeared in numerous print publications in New Brunswick from 1986 on. So if you have a suggestion for a future podcast, maybe find out Canada's version of Mo Roberts, let me know and we see what he can do, because you can't do anything without the good support of the good people like you. Have a great evening. Bye.